Good morning, everybody. I'm Noopur, and I welcome you back to our next event by Agile Network India. It is by Noida chapter, The Power of Agile Project Management with Jile. We have Utpal Vyas, who is a consultant at Tata Consultancy Services, and Neetu Singh, who is also product consultant at Tata Consultancy Services, presenting us a little bit about what we can do with Jile in Agile project management. We have Anmol from Noida chapter as the facilitator, so I would like to welcome Anmol to introduce Utpal and Neetu to you all.
Thank you so much, Nupur. Can we have the cameras on for Utpal and Neetu, please? Right. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nupur, for handing this over. So today, I know we've started early and now we are into this next session, which will be presented by two very seasoned professionals. So we have Utpal Vyas, who, like Nupur said, he's a consultant with Tata Consultancy Services. He holds a very vivid experience of over 20 years. He's been across the globe, and right now, he's managing this whole thing from the from the TCS standpoint. With him today, we have Neetu Singh, who although in terms of experience is comparatively new with about 10 years of experience, but I think she's equally well versed with the pre-sales market, with the sales market, and she's been working with Utpal on this Jile product. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk to these guys, understand, how and what led to the creation of Jile. What exactly is this product? How is it going to help everyone? It's been in the market for some time, but we need to understand, what are its features, why it will be useful for people like us who are now in the Agile framework quite a bit. So first of all, I'd like Utpal to give a brief introduction about himself, and then Neetu, and then we'll start from there. Utpal.
Sure. Thanks, Anmol. Good morning, everyone. So I have been working with Tata Consultancy Services for 21 years now, and currently I am playing the role of Enterprise Agile Coach, and I'm also heading the professional services for Jile, which is a TCS product. I'm a SAFE 5 program consultant, helping our customers adopt, scale, and transform their way of working using Agile way of working, and especially with Jile as a tool. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Thank you, Utpal. Yeah, thank you so much. And I know Utpal said he's happily married with 2 boys. So I hope they're watching this session and, they would see their father talk about things. I'm sure you must be having a lot of sessions like these. So say hello to them from us. All right. So Neetu, let's hear something about you. Neetu, can you hear me?
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I was talking on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hello, everyone. So I started my journey with TCS in 2011, and it's been more than 9 years now. And I joined as a management associate and handled various roles of sales and pre-sales within BFSI BPS. Then I moved to IT, and then there itself, the TCS has a product platform called Mastercraft Brand, which has various automation tools within it. So I worked with Mastercraft for a couple of tools, and then there also my role was primarily in sales and pre-sales. So it's the journey has been all about sales and pre-sales and learning various IT and automation transformation solutions. And then I moved to Jile and been with Jile for a couple of years now. So now I'm part of Utpal Vyas's team as a professional services team. Yeah.
Thank you, Neetu, and both of you welcome aboard. Pleasure to have you guys. Okay, so I'll just quickly run through how we are going to take this session for the benefit of our audience. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Anmol Jalota. I have been associated with ANI for a few months now, and the journey has been incredible. Lots of learning, lots of meeting amazing people like you all in the session today. And I hope you enjoy this session. And when I say enjoy, I hope you have certain takeaways, you learn something, and when you go back, how this product can help you, and maybe if you ever want to use it in future, or your organization wants to use it, you should have that comfort and you should have that information so that you can take informed decisions. So I guess for all of us now, everybody who's here, and a lot of people may not be watching, but probably who are linked with ANI, we are all in one way or the other talking about Agile, living Agile, implementing Agile in our day-to-day work. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to understand from Utpal what he thinks is Agile as on date. Why does he think that Agile is important? And then what was the thought process that led them, or that led TCS to form a tool like, what made them think that there's Agile project management, and then we would need a tool? And so if you could just give a little brief about what led you to the making of Agile, Utpal.
Sure, Anmol. So let me take an analogy for explaining the thought process which we had when we came up with Agile 3 years back. So if you consider an enterprise, say as a ship, and then ship is going to sail across the world, and ultimately what it is going to have is it is going to have its crew members on board, and then crew member would be doing their day-to-day jobs, all the activities and those things. But what the crew members would be continuously looking forward to is they are going to look forward to commands from their captain, and based on their command from the captain, they will do their day-to-day job and activities. So that is the usual way of working, which we call it as command and control culture, and that actually worked pretty well for quite some time. And when we talk about agile, so that is where we thought that why the crew always is looking for directions and commands from their captain. Why can't they self-organize? The challenge that we saw, as like TCS has been in this industry for quite a few decades, so what we observed is that the alignment between the crew and the captain, like crew actually didn't know what captain is up to, like what is captain's vision, what are the different objectives, or at which particular speed the captain is trying to navigate the ship across the seas, and so on. So I will take you through this journey and explain which part of this particular journey was missing, and that is where Agile comes into picture, where Agile helped captain and crew work as a single team under that ship, and then how it helped crew to become self-organized. So let me start with saying that if there is a ship which is sailing across the seas, then what it will have to do? It will have to have a vision, and that vision, captain would be able to have that visibility, that in which direction they are headed towards, and captain will always come up with the appropriate or optimum speed to achieve their target or achieve that vision. So we can call that as in terms of um, our industry, we can call it as objectives or goals. In terms of ship's language, we can call it as knots or speed in terms of knots per mile, right? So that is decided by captain. Then again, captain identifies which seaports that ship is going to stop over and do unloading, loading, all those things. So if we take that analogy, we can say that those are nothing but key initiatives for us. So when that particular ship is sailing across the seas, so it is going to have various key initiatives which it is trying to achieve. right? And to achieve that, captain will always come up with a roadmap, or in terms of C, we can say that it is a C map. So what used to happen, that crew members or the teams on the ground, they were lacking visibility into this captain's mindshare, right? Or what captain was up to. So that alignment was always missing. So enterprise had strategy being decided by their top management and executives, and teams were delivering, but the alignment was somewhat missing. And then what used to happen, teams were always looking for commands from their masters, and that is where the culture of command and control came into place. And that is what is Agile is trying to address, that how can we make those teams self-organized, and then how can various tools and processes actually can help us achieve that. So that was the overall thought process. This was the biggest gap that we had, which we found that which must be addressed, or it must be filled. So that was the initial thought process, Anmol.
And I think I quite understand what you're trying to say here, and I guess others would understand too. So you're right, we are now in the process of creating self-autonomous teams, because you're right, a lot of times we just end up becoming followers, where you, unless you're given a certain direction, you would not move, and then your creativity is not there anymore. There's no innovation, because you just tend to follow. And I understand probably with this, where you're going, when you say that you want to create a scenario where people can also take decisions. It's kind of a distribution of power within the team itself, and not keep it to one person. I think that sounds wonderful. So what we'll do is, so for everyone, I think Utpal and Neetu have a PPT that they'll run through, which will tell you all about Jile now. So after we are done with the PPT, we would be ready to take a few questions. If you have any, please post them on the chat box. We'll pick them up. And once we run through this PPT, we will also show you a quick demo of the actual product. And so we will take questions at 2 points, one after we finish the PPT, which is about 10-15 minutes, and then at the end of the demo. So please feel free to post your questions on the chat window. I'll pick them up from there one by one, and we'll get them answered for you. So Utpal, the floor is all yours now, and Neetu, you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Anmol. Yeah. So as I was talking about this analogy, so if we talk in terms of our industry, vision and objectives, key initiatives and roadmap, this was missing from the team level tools. There were a lot of tools available which team was able to use for transforming their way of working to Agile. There were very few tools available which were catering to this, and they were quite expensive as well. So no, we did not see many teams or enterprises actually making use of this strategy and execution alignment. So there was always a misalignment between strategic teams and what teams were doing. And if alignment was achieved, then it was through command and control culture. So that is where actually Jile comes into play. Jile addresses this critical pain point, and we will see how Jile addresses this when we see the demo. Neetu is going to cover through actual product demo, and at that time we will see how Jile helps in setting up the vision, objectives, key initiatives, and overall roadmap that enterprise is laying out. So once that this strategic theme is laid out, then what comes is execution. So in execution also there were quite a few challenges. And challenge was in terms of many choices, right? So if I have a part of enterprise or a single team and so on, so there were a lot many choices available to me in terms of how should I set up my way of working. If I'm just adopting Agile, then I would think about either adopting Scrum or Kanban way of working. If I have team of teams and I'm scaling up after practicing Agile for some time at the team level, then I would think about either disciplined Agile or large scale Scrum or enterprise scaling framework. For example, say for I might have my own framework, for example, Spotify and so on. Right. So there were so many choices available to choose my way of working, and different tools were catering to different choices or demands of enterprise. There was no single tool which was available which was catering to all these ways of working in a single place. So that is where Jile also comes into play, and it actually offers all these out of the box, these things, Scrum and Kanban, or if you are scaling up as a team of teams or at enterprise level, you are transforming, you can make use of pre-configured ways of working in terms of either disciplined agile or large scale scrum or enterprise scaling framework or agile portfolio. So we will see Nitu will cover that in demonstration part as well, like how you can set all this up and how easy it is to set all this up, because it is all pre-configured for you, and you can always customize based on your enterprise's needs. So that also we will cover during the demo. So now introducing Agile, which is going to address the two problems that we talked about. One is alignment between strategy and execution, or alignment between ship's captain and the crew, and thinking from multiple ways of working. So Agile, since it stays with you throughout your journey, right from your setting up the vision to refining and coming up with your initiatives, and then planning your roadmap, planning your release schedules, iterations, and so on. Then you go through your development and testing in individual sprints, and finally you deploy, and this cycle continues. Right? So Jile caters to this entire journey. It is not just a part of the journey, or it is not specializing only on the team level where teams are doing the sprint planning, development testing, and so on. But it stays with you throughout the journey, right from your vision to deployment. And it does it on a single platform, or 6 pre-configured ways of working, and there are sub-configurations also available that we will see in a moment. And as I said before, it brings alignment between business and IT, and it is available on the cloud. As you might have noticed, some other tools which were available on premise, they are also now moving on the cloud, because that's where the power of simplicity and power of making enhancements or making new features available faster is there. So that is where Jile actually adopted this on the cloud strategy from the day one, and we have 24/7 support available. You can always reach out to support@jile.io. There are toll-free numbers also available for various geographies, and online help and training videos are also available. If you would like to learn about Jile and just get yourself trained or familiarized, that is available to you on these links. And now let us talk about this current scenario that we're in.
Utpal, I'm just, I'll
Yes.
just for a moment. I've heard a couple of people are unable to see the presentation. I don't know if everybody, because I got that on the private chat. So if there is anybody else, I am assuming that everybody is able to see the presentation that Utpal is presenting. If not, maybe you'll probably need to reconnect. And if you still face a problem, please let me know. So this is for everybody, because I heard from a couple of people that they're not able to see it. I hope everybody else is able to see the presentation. So anybody who's not, please join back. Sorry, Utpal, carry on, please.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. All right. So I was talking about this new normal, as we call it, right? So now it is not the way we used to do planning. Say we used to gather all the people in one room to do the planning. Say we call it sometimes as a big room planning. In case you are doing PI planning or release planning, as we call it. So those things are now changed. The ways of working has now changed during these times. So what we are doing, since our teams are geographically dispersed and they are not working in the same time zone. what we are doing, and we have extended the timelines for doing that release planning or program increment planning, as we call it. So that is one aspect of virtual PI planning. Another is we have moved to cloud. Our default choice is something which is available on cloud rather than on premise, because something happens to that on premise thing, and then we are not able to go to that particular location to fix it. So instead, if something is available on cloud, it ensures high availability and so on. Then another thing that we have seen is earlier, when this planning used to happen inside a room, a lot of times these grooming and prioritization activities were left to the last moment. Like when we come face to face and when we do the planning inside the room, we will start grooming. I will clear all your doubts. I will set the prioritization. That was product owner or product manager used to say. So that has also changed. Now this grooming and backlog refinement needs to happen continuously. And when it happens continuously, it cannot be over phone calls. And phone calls are then the email, the minutes of meeting are logged into emails, and emails a lot of to and fro exchange between product owner and team. So that cannot happen anymore. It needs to happen via some tool which is going to be there, which is going to capture all the decisions and key discussions inside it in the respective places. So similarly, when you are in the event, so we have two options. So we can actually record the event and make that recording available to everyone. Another key aspect is, in addition to recording the event, we also need to capture the right decisions or key points with the respective entities. For example, if I am discussing something about a feature or a user story, so unless I capture that thing right along with the same entity, I will not be able to go back to that recording every time and just to listen to that 30-second clip or 1 minute clip. I will not go through that entire 2 hour recording. Right? So that also is now very important. And similarly, pre and post. So all these things, unless I am doing in a place where all these things are available in a single place, or it is a single source of truth, it becomes very difficult for me. So this new normal, how Jile is addressing that, also we will see in the demo part. And Jile is actually included in Gartner Magic Quadrant, as you can see. In consecutively for 2 years in 2019 as well as 2020, Jile has been included in Gartner Magic Quadrant. And for you, Jile is actually giving or running a promotion where it is giving 20 licenses for free, and you can use it for entire 1 year. And to do that, it is very simple. You just go to jile.io website, and then click on try now. You fill out your first name, last name, business email, set your password, and accept terms and conditions, and then you are all set. You get your own Jile instance in which you can onboard another 19 members. So that is available to you. And let us look at some of the case studies, how few organizations around the world have benefited by Jile. So this is one of the largest private banks in America's region. And the challenge that they were facing, they were having quite a few tools at the team level. And like as I was explaining earlier, the chief of the captain and the team. So chief of the captain was actually not able to utilize those team level tools. And what used to happen, they had different tool sets, and sometimes they had to resort to Excel spreadsheet, put it into email back and forth. And to get the visibility of where the teams are or the team of teams are, there was a lot of time reconciling all those reports, because there was no standard reporting or management review and so on. So that challenge, how we addressed using Jile. So Jile then was chosen as enterprise-wide Jile transformation platform, and single instance of Jile was adopted across geographically distributed teams. End-to-end visibility was available through custom reports and out-of-the-box dashboards and so on. So that is where Agile came to play. The result, as you can see, customer transition to 100% Agile and went paperless. The number of unplanned stories decreased. Earlier, what used to happen, the teams were being forced to take a lot of unplanned stories, and it decreased from 32% to 15%. And 15% is still gradually decreasing. Now they are improving in that aspect as well, and a 60% increase in the stakeholder participation. So unless this captain of the ship and or the business owners, as we call it, they are able to access this single source of truth, they will not participate. So with this Jile adoption, they are able to participate, and 60% increase in them. So there are a few other case studies as well. And what we will do now is we'll jump into the tool. Let's look at the tool demonstration, and Neetu will take us through that demonstration. Yeah, Neetu.
Yeah,
So,
thanks.
sorry, Neetu. No, I was just about to say, before Neetu starts the demo, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them on the chat window. We can pick them up now, or we can wait till the end of the demo for you guys. So, just waiting for your questions on the chat window, guys. Carry on, Neetu. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks, Anmol. But I'm not able to share the screen. Can you make me the presenter?
Shreya, you'll have to make her the presenter since you, I guess.
Yes, I've made.
Yeah.
So it's saying that organizer can make me the presenter. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Anmol, is it visible now?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Neetu, it is.
Yeah, so thank you. So after the brief, So after the brief introduction, like how and what Jile offers, now we'll see in the platform itself, like how and what functionality Jile offers in the Agile project management world. So first of all, the Jile website. So you can just type jile.io, and you can you'll be landed up to the Jile website here. And on the top rightmost corner, there is an option called Try Now. So what Utpal was saying, for the free trial version, it is for 1 year for 20 users. It's completely free. It's a promotional offer going on. You just have to provide certain details and then sign up for free, right? So there you can access the full functionality of Jile and see how it will be, relevant for your projects or your teams. So I'll quickly go to the Jile, page where I have created my instance for this particular demo. So this is the landing page of Jile, and when you log in as a domain or you sign up for a free trial version, you will be the domain admin for this particular workspace. Here on the top, it says Jile training tenant, right? So a tenant ID will be created for you, for example, like T1234. So this will be with a tenant created only for you as a domain admin, and the users who will be, along with you in the team will be using the Jile. And this tenant ID is important because you have to share it with the support team sometimes for some tickets or something which comes up, right? So this is something wherein it will be for you. Now how to start within Jile and to use the Agile functionalities, the very first thing which we have to do is create a workspace wherein you will add your data, your teams, right? So here at the top, we have a new workspace option. So what Utpal has showed in the slide, right? Jile offers 6 out of the box, industry standard frameworks, out of which we have Scrum Team framework, Kanban, DAD, LESS, enterprise scaling. This is the actual SAFe framework. So within this also, within all these, we have other configurations available. So if you just have one team and one program with multiple team of teams, or any other setup. So this is how you have to choose how you want to start. So you can use Jile for one team or maybe team of teams, or maybe multiple programs, or have a portfolio level view. So it offers a scalability, right? So you can start with maybe one team, and then you feel that, okay, this is relevant and it's making sense for your business, and you want to scale it up. So you can scale it up to the program level and to portfolio level. So the scalability is a very essential feature which Jile provides to the users here, right? So once you create your workspace, now what you have to do is add your apps. But before that, I'll just showcase the setup, how I will be demonstrating this demo for you. So I have created a workspace called retail banking. Okay, and this is a portfolio level. So within this portfolio, I have multiple programs within it, right? So this is one workspace having multiple work areas, and these programs may talk to each other, maybe independent, but they are rolling up to one portfolio, right? So similarly, within this portfolio, I have core banking, loan originations, which are different products. And within core banking also, I will have my teams. So each program will have its own teams. So here, this is the combination of my Scrum and Kanban team. So this is team of teams program. So this is the actual hierarchy, which I will be taking you through a little highlights of Jile today. And so once you add your workspace, you create your teams over here, then you can manage your users. You can add your team members from this particular option. They can be key members like business owners or your scrum masters, developer, testers, all those things, and the roles can be defined and is completely configurable in the system, in the setup here. One more very essential feature which Jile provides is that it is completely, customizable at various levels. So even if you choose a way of working, for example, Scrum, you can customize it to the extent your team requires it, right? So the customization is a very essential feature which Jile provides you. And then the next step is to add the app groups. So here we call it as app groups. So within portfolio, I will have my multiple apps, to do the functionality, to use the functionality of Jile project management, right? So it is simple. You just have to go to configure and add an app, right? So within this, I have multiple apps. So this could be any app related to a backlog, right? Or a release related app like release features, release retrospective, release roadmap, and similarly for iteration and other stuff, right? So when you add that, you might not, so Jile provides multiple apps. So there are multiple apps at various levels, but you can choose, and we can choose to what is relevant to you. So that's how you will add your relevant set of apps for easy navigation. So once you do that, your left panel is ready, and then you can start adding your data, right? So now, as Utpal also mentioned, Jile is an end-to-end tool. So it will right from the state of recording a vision statement for your portfolio or a product. You can refine it in terms of your objectives, epics, or features or stories, and then plan it into releases, and then develop, test, and deploy it. Right. So just to showcase how you will record your portfolio vision. So this is the portfolio vision app, which I'll open up. So here you can see there are multiple vision statements which this particular retail banking portfolio has identified in terms of like what are my customer segments, what is my revenue stream, from where it is coming, what is the channel, what is my value proposition. So these are very high level vision statements for a particular portfolio. Now, the portfolio or the enterprise wants these vision statements to be, quantified in terms of goals or key results. So what we do is we divide these visions into high-level objectives. So we'll go to the objectives app here. So here you can see those vision statements has been divided into these 4 high-level objectives, but these are measurable. So you can check in your results and see track the progress of this particular objective. So if I just open up one of the objective here, and so you will have details around the objective, what is the target year, what is the status, right? You can simply go ahead and edit, and then you can check in your results. Okay, you can configure set up your results and check in the result with respect to this particular objective. You can divide it into multiple epics. So this objective is also at a very higher level. So now what we want to do is we want to divide it into multiple smaller epics, which will be taken up for progressing, for tracking the progress of the objective. So this has these many objectives in which it is divided into. Now, if I open up one epic over here, so maybe this one, right. So here also you can see the epic details, right? epics or initiatives, which we call. So you can see the description of it, like the success criteria, which objective it is linked to, what is in scope and what is out scope in this objective, what is the time frame, what is the prioritization, who is the owner, which work area it belongs to, right? And within this objective also, how many capabilities I have, or how many features I have, how much percentage has been done, right? And then at the bottom also, you can further drill down to features level or capability levels, and you can see this particular epic is further divided into multiple features. So what I'm trying to show here is the traceability part. So from, right from your vision statement to objective, to this objective is divided into epics, and this epic is directly divided into features, and so on. So so you can have a view right from top to bottom, or from a task level also to to the objective level. You can see like to which objective and all it is linked to. So for example, this particular epic is divided into this many features, and if I go to this particular feature, I can see this feature is divided sorry, into how many stories, right? So that's how the traceability part becomes very easy. However, we also have on the fly reports, which you can create for your easy progress, tracking the progress. So this is a particular feature 56. I can see this is linked to this objective and this particular EP25 epic number. Within this, how many stories are there, how many tests and open issues, any dependencies, right? So that's how the user story and the features will be divided into it, and this user story will be further divided into at the task level. So going back to the objectives, so this is how your objectives will be tracked. And there is also a track progress. This is available at various entity levels. However, I'll just showcase one of the window wherein you can see and look at how it looks. So for example, this particular objective, we can see the parameters around it, like how many features it is divided into, what is the story it is divided, what is the progress of the story, 94% has been done, right? So this is how and what is the percentage of key results or the goals which have been met for this objective. And within this objective, the epics are there, right? What is the status, board status, you can see what is the percentage completion of that. So this is how right on the screen track progress report is available. However, you can also customize with the reports app available at each window, right? So that's how we will identify our vision statement and objectives. The next is the portfolio backlog, right? So we will have backlogs is the primary thing on which the team works at, right? So the backlog can be different at various levels. So a portfolio may have backlog in terms of initiatives and epics, and a program will have its backlog in terms of features. Similarly, a small team will have its backlog items to work on in the format of stories, right? So that's how the portfolio backlog is primarily in the epic form. Now here, Jile provides you multiple formats. So this is a card view, board view, grid view. All this is available for your perspective, so reference, so how you can navigate and see what is going where. So this is a board view which provides the status of each epic which has been identified for this portfolio backlog, right? And you can simply drag and drop a particular card from one status to another. These statuses are also very customizable, so you can add your own status. And the movement of a card is also access control. So the roles who are identified to move. So for example, an epic owner for this particular workspace can only move this, right? So that way the data integrity is also maintained over here. So this is how the portfolio backlog would look like. There are multiple other apps, but I will quickly, these are the highlighted ones which I wanted to showcase in the portfolio level. So I'll quickly go to the program level also. So those who are interested in to see the product level view, what Jile offers at the product level. So this is one of the product which is core banking here, and we also have multiple app groups available. So within program here also at the product level also you can identify your personas, components, visions, or any constraints, right? Program backlog in terms of features. So all that will be available for you in the program level. So just a glimpse of how program feature backlog would look like, right? It will identify your the estimate, who is the owner, and other details. So when you open it, it will show you the other details like that. You can also Excel import, this stuff into the Jile. Now the next is once you identify your backlog items, what you have to do is plan the roadmap, right? So, like Utpal mentioned, that whenever the ship's captain is there, they have to identify which route they're going to take, right? So you have to have a map. You have to have a roadmap for coming up, financial year. So this particular app PI roadmap will enable you to identify your releases for maybe a half year or a financial year, wherein you will punch in your goals for every release and whatever epics are known to you, and then you can gradually add to each release as and when you progress. So that's how your release plan would be. You can add your releases from here. So a program release level planning would be done from here. The next would be once you do your release planning, the next would be your PI progress. So you can also identify your PI backlog and see the PI progress. So yeah, sorry. So before you go to the progress part, once you do the roadmap thing, you also want to plan it in terms of your backlog and your teams who will be participating in that, right? So let me just open one of the, yeah. So this is the releases or program increments which has been planned for this particular year, 2021. So this is PI1, PI2, and this is the PI3. So if I just open up one of the release plan over here and showcase how you will be actually doing your release planning. So it will allow you to add your iterations. This is nothing but the sprints, which we call iterations in safe terminology. So you can add your number of iterations or sprints. You can add, delete the teams who will be participating in this release. What is the team capacity in terms of story points? How much is consumed, right? And how many, what is the start date and date of this release? Similar stuff, right? And at the bottom, you can see the product backlog. So the product backlog, which I showed in this, in terms of features, you can simply drag and drop and make this, feature part of this particular PI backlog. Similarly, you can check on your iteration schedules and you can add it to that. So this is how your iteration planning will go on. And then the next is checking your PI progress. So you can simply go ahead and click on track and see how your this particular release is going on. So for example, how many features are done, stories are done, what is the burn up, and CFD charts are saying what is the status of my features, stories, any defects, right? Similar stuff. So that's how your progress at a program level will work. Similarly, you will have the sprint level planning, sprint backlog, sprint dashboard, and all that. Now, this is at a program level. Quickly, I'll also showcase, in the interest of time, I'll showcase the team level also for the people who just want to start with a small team and they just want to use Jile for a team perspective. So there also you will have your team backlog, which is usually in terms of your stories, right? And then the work window. So here you will have your task and test and issues identified on which the team will work on, right? So this is pretty much how Jile will function at various levels, at portfolio, at program, and the team level. Quickly, there are other tabs like my work, right? It will simply take you to the things which you are tagged to, like task or any other activity or test cases, right? And the collaboration platform. So this is a discussion platform wherein you can tag people, you can tag a user story or an issue, and you can create a discussion around it. You can reply on it, right? So this is how your discussions will happen on this particular platform. So pretty much on the side, going back to the core banking level, just one last thing I want to showcase is the setup module, which is very essential. So whenever you log in or you sign up for Jile, you will be doing your setup and configuration from this module. So this way of working is actually so TCS has filed one of the patent for this unique way of working capability, which allows you to do a time box, which is a sprint based, or a flow based, which is a Kanban way of working. So both ways you can choose. If you have both, you can choose both and manage your Scrum and Kanban teams both at the time. And you can choose your functionalities, like what all you want to include in terms of your features, stories, capabilities, what you don't want to choose, right? And similarly, then if you want to rename your functionality, you don't want to call it initiative, you want to call epic for you, right? You don't want to call iteration, you want to call sprint. So those level of details you can do, and of course other level configurations are also available, like role tagging or email notification, and entity level customization. So this is the setup module. So this is pretty much a very quick demo of Jile, wherein you will be able to, I showcase like how it will be handled at portfolio level, program level, and team level. There are multiple other functionalities which will allow to ease your manage your backlog items at various levels. But I'll stop it right here, and I'll hand it over back to Anmol. Yeah.
First of all, I must congratulate. I think I really like the tool. It is awesome. The kind of detailing that has been put into this, the kind of things that you can do with this, amazing. I love the tool. I'm sure everybody else did, but I loved it personally, Neetu. So I have a few questions. So what I do is I quickly scroll through the ones that people asked, and what we've already answered. So I know somebody asked, how do we choose different frameworks, and we answered that we have that option of selecting from those models that are there. Then somebody said, can you show the roadmap in the tool, which we've shown how to set up the roadmap and everything. There was one question where they said, can we move from one framework to another later in the cycle? So for example, if we picked up a Scrum and then we want to move on to Kanban for that particular feature or something, is that a possibility? Can you do that?
Yeah, so Scrum to Kanban, it is completely actually different way of working. So Scrum to Kanban will not be feasible, but you can definitely scale up. So if you are having a Scrum team, and if you want to form a program under which you are going to have a combination of Scrum and Kanban, you can definitely scale up and do the things that way. Otherwise, there are fundamental differences between Scrum and Kanban team. Scrum team follows time-boxed approach, whereas Kanban follows flow-based. So that movement is restricted actually by design, but scaling up is definitely possible.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know a lot of people asked about the reporting, and we've seen the kind of reporting that can be there. So if people have questions around it, we can come back and see. I know people asked about dependencies. So somebody said that how do you show dependencies among different backlogs or amongst multiple teams who are working? So do you actually go in and put in those dependencies, or how are they visible? Because I did see a column for dependency, but how do you actually make it for multiple teams, or how do you do it?
Yeah, Neetu, so would you like to show quickly in the core banking the dependency map in PI plan? Yeah.
Yeah, so we do have this dependency board view available, right? So okay, let me open this one. So wherein you can see the dependency across the teams. So this is a very simple dependency board wherein I have two teams, and I have different iterations they are working on and different user stories. Now this says that this user story number 106 is dependent on 218, but this is planned in second iteration. So until unless this team fighters complete this one, this will not be done. So this iteration one can't be done. So there is a planning conflict. So what you have to do, you have to plan it accordingly. So you have to probably move it to iteration one for the team of fighters, right? So this is how the dependency will be resolved. So this will have a more complex view wherein you will have multiple stories, multiple teams working on different entities, and then they are planned in different iterations. So this dependency board will give you a fair picture, like if there is a conflict or there is an unresolved dependency or there is no planning conflict, everything is fine. So this is the kind of dependency view Jile provides for easy access.
So Neetu, once you create this dependency chart and everything, and say you are doing something which is flaunting that dependency, so will you get a proper error message? It will not let you move on, or how is it? How do you handle that breach?
So what you do when you do planning, right? So when you plan your user stories or your product backlog into your iterations, right? So you might be simply dragging and dropping two different iteration sets here. So this is, sorry, just populating. So here you will have your product backlog in terms of features or user story, and you simply drag and drop. Okay, let me just show you the iteration schedule. So this release will have probably say two iterations, right? Two iterations, and then I have this user story here and then one here. And I can also see this is defined to other team, and this is the other one may be defined to other team. So I just plan it. But later on when I do it, then I see, okay, this is dependent on the other team iteration, and this iteration will start on the 3rd week or 4th week. So similarly, this kind of view will automatically get populated here in the dependency board, and then you can take a call, like if you want to move this particular user story to other iteration, or maybe both the stories which are dependent will be handled in the same iteration or with the same team. So this is an auto-populated table which will be populated based on the planning which you have done of user stories for the teams.
Okay.
Yeah, and to answer Anmol's question, whether Jile will prevent you from moving ahead. So no, it will not prevent you from moving ahead. You can, but it will give you a visual indicator that you have few planning conflicts, and what you are going to land in situation is this. So that is what actually Jile visually provides you, but it actually lets you move ahead with that in case there is no other way for you. So you can take an informed decision at least. That's what helps you.
Makes sense. Makes sense. This is one question that I really liked. Somebody asked, is there a GitHub or CI pipeline integration, or is there a test case tool integration? I mean, do you have integrations with everything so that you can manage everything within Jile?
Yeah, so GitHub integration and GitLab integration are available in the sense that when a developer checks in the code in GitHub or GitLab as a source repository, in the commit message, actually you can put that hashtag say US 101, and then what will happen is that particular commit will start appearing against your respective user story. You can also do you can also put a commit message in the sense that if you want to say configure it that way that when I put this particular message that say hashtag dev done, and then I want to move my user story to QA in progress status. So that is also what you can do while committing the code. You can put these kind of various hashtags. So GitHub and GitLab integration is there with Jile. We can go into those technical details, but due to this time constraint, I think we can just leave it at that. Yeah, it is possible, and we can demonstrate that to you. If you click on that request demo, we'll be able to arrange a demo specific for you as well if you go to jile.io and request a demo.
So guys, we are almost out of time. So I'll take just one last question, and rest of the questions, we'll probably pick them up and we'll see if we can reply to them later. So this question I like, wherein they say that how do you measure delivered customer value? So is there a way to measure the customer happiness, their CSC? I mean, there's a happiness index or something like this, or where they give feedback or something like this on the tool?
Definitely. So what Neetu was showing earlier in terms of objectives and key results. So one of the key results actually can be configured as your customer satisfaction or your net promoter score or something like that. So which actually defines your customer happiness, right? So that is how you can actually capture that. You can set your target in terms of your NPS needs to move from here to here and so on. And then you can you can register those things over there to capture whether how you have fared against your set key results, right? So those OKR, as we call it, business OKR, objectives and key results. So one of the key results definitely could be customer satisfaction or NPS. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think we've almost tackled all the questions that we got. There's just one thing. I guess we talked about the 1-year free trial period and everything. So somebody was asking about the pricing plans thereafter, if it's per person, per license, how do you work after that,
Yeah, so currently it is the pricing plan is very simple. It is per user per month, and the current pricing is $9 per user per month. And if you are going beyond 100, then we actually offer, you can get in touch with our sales team to work out the pricing just for you. So that is also something we can do. So you can always reach out to support at jile.io, write an email to that, or you can contact us through this website, jile.io, and then we will be happy to take it forward.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Utpal and Neetu. I think it was a very, very informative session. I mean, like I said, I personally loved the tool. I liked a lot of features that it has to offer, and I'd love to go back and kind of do some R&D with it myself. I'm sure others would too. Thank you so very much for your time, and for the audience, thank you so very much for your questions, for being a part of this session. And I hope there are certain great takeaways for you from this session. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thanks, everyone.